Hey my dudes, welcome to What's a SmackDown. So we are your hosts, Tasha and Corey, and we're here to talk all things WWE. So, we have a bit to talk about lately actually. So we've been away for a little bit, my dudes, please excuse. It's school holidays, so parent life. But we've still been watching wrestling. Raw is Netflix happened, and that was like the first episode of Raw for the year. Now, they really wanted to showcase this.
Absolutely.
Because SmackDown was not the first episode. And we discussed this. We sort of thought, technically, isn't SmackDown going to be the first episode of the year? But they really didn't want to do that.
No.
Raw's been around longer. So, what they said, Raw debuted in 1993, was it?
2 or 3, I think.
Yeah,
it was 2 or 3.
It was one of those years. And
sure, yeah.
SmackDown debuted in like 1998.
Yeah,
like
sure.
around there.
Yeah.
So they wanted to showcase Raw. Now, let's just touch base on Raw is Netflix.
Yep.
So we had The Rock there
Yep.
to obviously talk about Raw becoming a big deal on Netflix, which makes it more accessible around the world to viewers. So obviously a greater audience at a much larger scale by it being on Netflix. Now also, who else came? So we had Hulk Hogan came, and oh my god, he got booed.
Yeah, very booed. Yeah.
What was that about?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I'm not sure.
If you know, my dudes, what that one was about, please put it in the comments. But obviously there was no Hulkamaniacs this time.
Very few.
He got a really, really raw reception. Like, people were not happy with him for some reason.
The Rock got a good reception.
He always does, but I feel like if The Rock's like for the people, he usually is pretty loved. And because he's from the Attitude Era where he was massively loved as a superstar in wrestling, I feel like we always tend to look at The Rock in those times. I do. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
I think the first time I ever seen The Rock really get hated by the fans was the Cody Rhodes thing.
Yeah, true.
That was probably the worst reception I've ever seen The Rock get as a fan of wrestling in all the years I've seen it. Like, yeah, he has gone like with McMahon's sometimes. Like, remember when the Corporate Rock?
This has been a heel here and there, yeah.
Like, people hated him at those stages, but he's usually been the people's champ.
No, you're right. Undertaker got a good reception as well.
Yeah, so he came out to congratulate Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and he got a good reception.
He did, but I feel like, again, and he came out as the American Badass, which was, I love seeing him as that.
That's cool.
It's my favourite persona of his. So that was really cool, and that was a surprise for Rhea Ripley. She didn't know. She actually didn't know. But there was talk. So let's get into the actual talks of wrestling. Mm-hmm. So on that night, the debut, we had Rhea versus Liv Morgan, and Rhea won. She won the title.
Yep.
Now, been reading a little bit. A lot of people unhappy about this. Like, there's people out there that they didn't really want this again. And to be honest, I didn't really want to see Rhea with the title again either. But they didn't want Liv to go to WrestleMania. They didn't want her there, which has opened up for some other matches. Now, this brings me to you touching on Undertaker coming to congratulate Rhea Ripley. And there was talks that Becky Lynch was going to come out and kind of make it known that she is going to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. They reckon it's going to be like a repeat of last year, except obviously the outcome will not be a repeat. So we're definitely going to see Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania because apparently they definitely want her there. Liv Morgan, no. Now, that was obviously one of the major matches on the night of Netflix's Raw, or Raw is Netflix. The best match of the night for me about that night was definitely Roman and Solo.
Yeah, probably agree. Yeah.
And that was the first match.
Yeah.
And that was really good. That was actually a good match.
It was a good match.
And, of course, Roman won. So I think that means we're done with that. Yeah?
Yeah.
We're done with that.
I think,
that's not happening anymore. And that's going to be really good because I'm actually interested what to see this year, what they're going to do with, Jacob Fatu. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with him. He's so impressive. We say this every time, dude.
I think he'll go well in the Royal Rumble. Like, I don't think he'll win, obviously. But
I think he'll go well.
But I think he'll do
yeah,
well.
I think so too.
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble is going to be stacked, but we'll get to that.
Absolutely.
Because obviously we're going to touch on that.
Yeah.
But we have a bit of catching up to do.
Absolutely.
So, Raw is Netflix was a big deal. A lot of people seen that.
Yeah.
Now, on the changeover, we've also had some changes to some of the stuff. Now, I just want to touch base on this. So we have on Raw now, commentating, we have Pat McAfee and Michael Cole.
Yep.
Now, I like them both. I think they're both cool. I definitely think Michael Cole deserves to be there.
Absolutely.
100%. He's been around since... Do you remember when Michael Cole would do interview, like he would interview the wrestlers? Yeah, like the wrestlers back in the day.
Absolutely.
And so Michael Cole, I remember seeing him like from way back then.
His dyed hair.
Yeah, the tips,
yeah.
the blonde tips.
Yeah, I remember.
And The Rock would always be like, "Shut your mouth, Michael Cole."
I know.
So good, so good. So I definitely think Michael Cole deserves to be there.
Yep.
Now, with SmackDown, they've got Wade Barrett, who is an ex-wrestler.
Yep. Which I think he's a good...
I do too. I actually like him as commentator. I think he works.
I think he does well.
But the dude that they have with him, and this is what I want to talk about.
Joe Tessitore or whatever his name is.
Well, the reason they wouldn't give it to Corey Graves is he's not famous enough. But who the fuck's this other guy? Like,
I think he's from ESPN.
Are you serious?
ESPN or something, maybe. I think he's from.
Do you know who he is?
No idea.
I don't know who he is, but I know who Corey Graves is.
Well, I know his voice annoys the shit out of me.
I hate him. I shouldn't hate's a bit strong, but I'm not a fan. So
he doesn't work for wrestling. Like
I agree. He's too sports. He's like too much of a legit sports dude.
I actually like Corey Graves. I think he's
Me
a good
too.
commentator.
I don't mind him.
I think he definitely deserves to be on SmackDown.
Well, he was a wrestler too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So him and Wade Barrett could be a really good team together
Absolutely.
as commentating.
Oh, I think they could.
I think they'd work really well together. Because they actually got that wrestling background, the both of them.
That's right. They got that in common.
Yeah. So I actually think they would both work, and I just want to touch base on this because Corey Graves had put up a thing where he had said, you know, if you haven't seen me around, it's because I'm pretty much not famous enough to keep my job. And they want to move him to NXT. And he's not happy with that. He doesn't want to do that. He's basically going to walk away. I can't say I really blame him.
I don't.
I think, like, he should be commentating SmackDown with Wade Barrett.
Put ESPN on NXT.
Yeah, well.
The minimal watch one, you know what I
mean? Yeah.
It's the least watch one. Like
oh, you mean the guy?
Yeah. ESPN, the guy. Joe whatever. I don't know what his name is.
I don't know. I didn't even know his name.
I just called him ESPN.
Yeah, that'll do. That's who he is. Yeah, true. I agree. Put him on there.
Like if the really likes him, wants to keep him around, put him on NXT.
No, true.
Like,
I think Corey Graves got screwed.
Yeah, I do.
I don't think that's really fair. And I wonder if there's something a bit more personal there.
Booker T's on NXT button. Even he's better than Joe ESPN.
But Booker T is another name too. Like, why not have him commentating?
He was commentating on SmackDown for a while. Like,
yeah, where is he?
He's on NXT now.
That's wow, Booker T.
I know.
Isn't NXT run by Shawn Michaels?
I'm not quite sure anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Because I know that Thing is the general manager. I'm pretty sure.
The Rock's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ava. Is her name Ava Raine?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if Shawn Michaels controls the show and she's the general manager, or if that's like what he was doing and now he's not really there and that's what she does.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. I don't really watch NXT.
No, I don't. Well, I personally don't watch
it.
I don't. So every time a new wrestler does debut from there, I'm always like, who are they? But I think, NXT just... I know a lot of the wrestlers start in NXT. Yeah. I just don't have an interest for it the way I do Raw and SmackDown and actual, the major WWE shows. But anyway, enough about the commentators. I just want to touch base on that and just sort of let us know what you think about that. Like, who would you rather see? Corey Graves or ESPN dude? Who's less famous? Okay, so what other matches happened on Raw's Netflix?
CM Punk, Seth Rollins.
And CM Punk won.
Sure did.
Yeah. And I think the crowd was behind both with that one. I feel like the crowd is always a little bit torn.
70-30 Punk.
When, I don't know, we love Seth Rollins. We love Seth frickin' Rollins. Come on.
We do, but...
Who doesn't love Seth Rollins, my dude? You dudes love Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins is awesome.
He's so good. I love Seth Rollins so much.
CM Punk's awesome too.
I find CM Punk is interesting to watch. I will say that. I'm not a huge CM Punk fan, but I do like watching him. He's entertaining. He's very entertaining.
He said this week on Raw that he's going to see John Cena at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so this is obviously, we will get to that. We had John Cena come out on Raw's Netflix, and John Cena had actually stated he wants to win Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. Now, this is interesting because this would tie John Cena with Stone Cold Steve Austin for 3 Royal Rumble wins, but so would Randy Orton if he was to win it, he'd be a 3-time as well. Now, I think that's very interesting. I personally would love to see Randy Orton win it. We already know, if you've been watching our podcast, you know I want to see Randy versus Cody for the title. I want to see that at WrestleMania so badly.
That'd be good.
But there's talks that it could be John Cena winning Royal Rumble. Now, John Cena's come out and said he wants to. Not necessarily said he would, but said he wants to, which means he's going to be in Royal Rumble.
He is.
That's what I mean. So he's going to be in it. So I want to talk more on Royal Rumble. I really do. So before we get to Royal Rumble, let's just do a quick recap of the rest of what's been happening on Raw and SmackDown, and probably end it with Royal Rumble as we usually do.
Absolutely. Because
I feel like Royal Rumble's coming. It's coming up, my dudes. It's really close.
Couple weeks.
And I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait. So, and I feel like there's a lot to talk about with it.
Oh yeah.
So, we pretty much touched base on Netflix. Raw's Netflix. Did we miss anything?
Don't think so.
No, that's all. Was there another match?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Maybe there wasn't, it just wasn't great.
Maybe we just don't care about it.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I can just think of the CM Punk, Seth Rollins, the Tribal Combat.
Yeah, the women's title match.
Drew and Jay. And Jay rolled him up, remember?
The roll up, the sneaky roll up. And that's interesting too, because Jay has a title shot.
Yeah, Saturday night's main event.
Yes, against Gunther. Oh my god, yeah. So, Gunther, again, we always say how boring we think he is.
He's going to dominate Jay.
I love Jay and I would love to see Jay win. Unfortunately, I don't think Jay's going to win.
He's going to make Jay look like Tama Tonga.
What did someone say? Didn't we read? Someone had said they think that Jay's just like, his matches are very much just a super kick fest.
Yeah.
Is that what someone said?
I read that the other day.
How do you dudes feel about that? Do you think that Jay is pretty average in the ring? Is it just a super kick fest? Is that all it is?
I think Jay's awesome, but I think Jay's definitely a mid-card dude.
You have said this for a long time.
I've always said it.
I love Jay. Personally, I'm a huge Jay fan. I definitely think Jay could be a world champ. Could he be it right now? I don't know.
I think the difference with us is I've watched Jay's a lot of his career.
I have missed a lot of Jay's career. You know what I mean? That is true.
I seen him when he first came in. You know what I mean? And he's a great tag team, but he's a great tag team.
When I first seen Jay, I reckon it was 2015.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've seen him.
That's what I mean. They had their biggest year when he was with the Bloodline, like when he had that thing with Roman, like him and Jay, they held the titles for ages.
Him and Jimmy.
Jimmy, sorry.
I actually think Jay's biggest year was last year.
Yeah, for him himself maybe,
Last year was a great year for Jay. Maybe not in title cards, but just as a wrestler, really building himself.
No, absolutely.
It was a great year for him. It was.
And he's come up a lot,
oh my god, he so has.
He's doing really well.
I definitely think
I just still think he's a mid-carder. He's got to show me more in the ring.
Maybe we could see Jay get that Intercontinental title back. How about let's start there? Let him hold it for a bit.
I think that works for him. I think that's good for him. You know what I mean? I think give that to him for 6 months and see how he handles it. And then
exactly, because that is the gateway. If you've held that, but that touched on John Cena. He never held that.
No, he hasn't.
He's never held that.
Title he has never held.
Interesting, isn't it? And it is the gateway to those championships, but he didn't have to do that.
But I think that's what they need to do. Instead of giving Jay a belt for 2-3 weeks and then throwing him in, taking it off him to throw him in a freaking storyline.
Yeah.
Give him a belt for 6 months, see how he handles it. You know what I mean? He could excel in the ring. No one knows.
Well, true.
He could be a champion and he could just take it to a whole other level and they could be like, oh my god, where's this Jay always been?
Yeah, true.
You never know.
True.
You know what I mean? And I think he is doing well and he does probably have the potential to be a world champion. I just don't think he's there yet.
Yeah, look.
You know what I mean?
I think he has a little bit of work to do. I love Jay so much, but I do think on the mic especially, he needs some work.
Yeah,
I think he's done great work as a wrestler. He's really excelled as a solo wrestler. He's done so well. Yeah. But what did Gunther say? He said he's going to expose Jay for the good tag team wrestler that he is. Now that's interesting because is that how a lot of people see Jay? Maybe that's how Triple H sees Jay.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Sure.
Well, I guess time will tell.
That's right.
But he is getting a title shot, so good for Jay. But sadly, I don't think Jay's going to win that.
No.
which means I think Gunther will still be holding it at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, there is still, before WrestleMania, Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber to get through, so he could lose it at one of them.
Absolutely.
The options are open there. Now, so that's obviously what went down on Netflix. Now, since then, obviously, we've had some other things come up.
Yep.
So, we just said Gunther versus Jay, which was announced.
This past week on Raw.
Yep.
SmackDown first episode on Netflix.
Yep.
Was not bad.
Yeah, average.
It's Tiffy Time. That was probably the biggest.
Oh yeah, because she
Tiffy
cashed
Time.
in, my dude.
Yep.
She finally fucking did it against Nia Jax as well. Like, you know how she's been watching Nia Jax for ages, and I so knew she was going to do it. But I think Tiffy's going to be.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make Tiffy a babyface.
Seems like it.
It really does because, and the crowd's really kind of behind her.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy.
Yeah, but they actually said, like Triple H when she won Money in the Bank, that he planned to do big things with her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
She's really good on NXT, so...
And isn't there talks that Charlotte Flair may face her at WrestleMania?
Yeah, sure is.
Oh, that's interesting, my dudes. Charlotte Flair is such a good wrestler.
She is.
Is Tiffy ready to face someone like Charlotte Flair?
You can only get better, I guess.
I guess. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But Charlotte Flair is so... Oh, my God. She's so very good. And I think she brings out... Like, she really takes you to that next level as a wrestler. Like, her match with Rhea Ripley was amazing.
That's what I mean. And maybe that's what... You know, maybe that's what they want, and maybe that's what Tiffany Stratton wants. Like,
yeah.
Just give me something huge right away. You know what I mean?
And like Charlotte Flair she is that woman. I think who really sets the bar.
She's a massive deal.
Like she is, and she's probably one of the best modern day wrestlers.
Yeah.
Female wrestlers I have seen.
And if you're gonna go to WrestleMania and you're gonna lose to someone, like, you're not really gonna walk out disappointed if you lose to Charlotte Flair. You know what I mean? She's that.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I mean,
you're gonna walk out disappointed.
She's so good. I mean, she's probably
just that good.
She's probably close to being like the GOAT.
That's why I think she might come.
Female wrestlers. Do you agree?
Yeah, I probably agree.
I think she's really good. I love China. She paved the way for women, in my opinion.
But that's why I think Charlotte Flair too will probably win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I said that last
yeah.
time,
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, we did.
Podcast.
Yeah, and so like. Again, like the Women's Royal Rumble for me has got me a bit like, I'm not really too sure what they're going to do with it.
I think Charlotte Flair, for me,
I would like to see that.
I think she might win it.
I would like to see that.
Or Becky Lynch.
But they reckon Becky Lynch is going to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, which is why they set that up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also interesting as well. And I think that if it is Becky Lynch versus Rhea at WrestleMania, I think that she's going to win, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is going to win.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think Rhea Ripley's going to win if it's her versus Becky Lynch again. I don't think it's going to happen.
match like you said last year and
Rhea won.
So I'll be pretty surprised if Rhea wins again.
Oh my God. If they do a repeat of that, like, so shit. Look, I don't think people want to see Rhea holding the title again. And I think we do have eligible women who can hold it.
I guess it makes it less and less though now because you have mid-card titles for the women too. You know
what
I mean?
We've got the Intercontinental for the women.
And
it's the United States is what's her face?
Chelsea Green.
Yeah, Chelsea Green has that. So she'll defend that at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Like, see, I guess we are forgetting the new titles. So Chelsea Green will defend that.
Yeah. Bailey's the number one contender. She's versing Tiffany Stratton this week, I think.
Yeah, okay.
For the title.
Yeah. Oh, I think Tiffany will hold it.
I think so.
I think Tiffany will hold it.
I think so.
I don't think they'll strip her that soon.
No, well, it's pretty quick if they do. It's crazy quick.
I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, like they could do it, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think Tiffany's going to hold that for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think it might be Tiffany and Charlotte Flair.
I think so. I think people wouldn't mind seeing that too.
Yeah. No.
Because Bailey has had matches at WrestleMania.
Oh, absolutely.
She has, and she is a good wrestler.
But Bailey won the Royal Rumble last year and beat Io Sky at WrestleMania for the title. Remember?
She did.
So
I don't think we're going to see Bailey at WrestleMania in a main event again.
She had that moment.
She did.
I don't think
she did.
You know, I definitely don't think she'll win the Royal Rumble.
I agree.
I don't think we'll see her in the main event either women's title main event at WrestleMania.
No, I agree. I do agree. And with the women's Intercontinental, we're looking at is it Lyra?
Valkyria.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So she versus what's her name? Dakota.
Yeah, she beat Dakota Kai.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
On Raw this week. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So she's the new
So
Intercontinental
she won it.
champion. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. I missed that actually.
Yeah.
I did miss that.
Yeah,
Cool.
That wasn't bad.
So she is actually so she holds it. Zoe Stark said it. She says it doesn't matter who wins out of them two, she's next in line for a go at that title. Yeah. That's what she had said.
That might have been on Raw actually.
Yeah, so that's interesting because Zoe Stark has sort of put it out there. She wants to go at that title shot again. But Sonya Deville and, oh my God, what's her name?
Baszler.
That's right, Shayna Baszler. Them two want to go as well. They want a shot at this title.
Yeah.
So already a few people are looking to sink their claws in here.
Absolutely.
And want to be the Women's Intercontinental. So that's interesting.
That is.
Obviously, we've got talks of WrestleMania, Royal Rumble coming up. The biggest main event ever, in my opinion. I actually think it's so good. Like, I know WrestleMania is like the shit. It's the ultimate one. But Royal Rumble's so good, man.
Such a good pay-per-view.
It's fucking unreal. It's so good. So, let's sort of talk on what else have we kind of missed that's happened. Because I think SmackDown, the one after Raw, like Raw is Netflix, the first one was so-so.
Yeah.
It was okay.
We know Cody versus Kevin in the ladder match for the title at Royal Rumble?
Yes. That's interesting.
That is,
why a ladder match?
I have no idea. But
that is so interesting.
They've gone with that. But that, I think, is the only thing at Royal Rumble so far.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's just obviously like the men and the women's match as well so far. But you think Gunther will defend against someone possibly on the night?
I assume so. I would assume so.
Because I presume he'll beat Jay.
That's what I think is going to happen. I don't
really know who will verse him at Royal Rumble though. I'm not really sure.
That's interesting.
I hope it's not someone really good because they'll miss out on. Oh, well, they can still be in the Royal Rumble really if they want to be. If they lose to Gunther at Royal Rumble, they can technically still be in the Royal Rumble. But...
Well, actually, here's the thing. Didn't Jay give away that he's going to lose against Gunther?
Well, he said he's going to be.
Because he said he's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
And go to WrestleMania.
That's kind of a giveaway that you're going to lose because the champs are not in the Royal Rumble.
No.
So.
No, they're not.
Jay just basically told us all that he's going to lose. I wonder how Triple H feels about that.
I wonder if he'll keep his match.
Anyway, I guess sometimes you can't really fuck up, my dudes. If you're a pro wrestler and you're doing these promos, you got to make sure you don't give shit away.
Sure.
Now, so is there anything else we need to catch up on before we do get to the talks of Royal Rumble leading to WrestleMania, what could potentially happen in the middle at Elimination Chamber, yeah.
I don't think there's really much else. Damian Priest beat Finn Balor on Raw this week in a street fight.
So they are still going on with that. That street fight was actually pretty full on. Like,
I think that might be done now.
I hope it's done.
Yeah, I think it might be done.
I hope it's done.
To be honest.
Because they tried to fuck over Damian Priest as they always do.
Yeah.
All of them jumping in. Now, there's been talks just touching on Judgment Day that they think Liv and Finn are going to turn their back on Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
This is something that's been popping up.
Okay.
So they're going to like screw him over somehow. This is just talks. That could happen.
Yeah.
Liv and Finn, hey?
I don't know.
Interesting. I wonder where they're going with that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I think that could happen to Dom.
Yep.
In that regard. Maybe that's what they might do now with the Judgment Day story.
Maybe.
Because we've now got Rhea and Liv is done. And Damien and Finn Balor is done.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what they're going to do now. Liv and Finn are going to screw over Dominic. Because if you've seen when Rhea won, Dominic tried to hug her.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's trying to kiss the ass of Liv. Because Rhea kicked him in the balls and was not having that. She's like, I think that could happen with Judgment Day. So that's interesting. Something to think about, my dudes.
They've made Seth and Drew for next week.
Yeah, okay.
For Raw.
Okay, and this is interesting because Drew is hellbent
WrestleMania rematch, they said.
Well, Drew's hellbent, but on getting Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Did you see him come out and interrupt CM Punk and Seth?
Yes, I did. I did. No, I did say that because he said he's like you fellas are missing what this is all about because they were going to go at it, the three of them that night. The CM Punk was like, let's do it, us three. Drew McIntyre was not having it. Drew McIntyre was like, nah, this is not happening. He's like, you're missing everything here. Roman's got everyone fooled. So he's really hellbent on that side of things.
I think it was interesting, but too, because Seth Rollins bumped into Sami Zayn.
Yeah, okay.
Backstage.
Yeah.
And Sami was like, because he, I think Seth Rollins was frustrated, I don't know about what, but Sami was like, if you need to talk to someone, like, you can come and talk to me and that. And Seth Rollins was like, shouldn't you be with your buddy Roman? He's like, you got the Ula Fowler back, aren't you happy about that? He's like, aren't you going to go help him? He's like, what are you going to do next? Help him win the Royal Rumble?
Oh.
And so I think it's getting interesting like that because Seth's a good guy, yeah, but he really has that mindset of sort of Drew McIntyre at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Because he doesn't want to bar Roman Reigns at all.
No,
or anyone
that's connected in that way. And I think it's interesting that Drew keeps mentioning this every single episode.
Yeah.
Is Roman's just got everybody fooled.
Yeah.
He just wants to go back to old Roman.
Absolutely.
So very fascinating they keep going on with it.
That's right.
So yeah, okay, interesting.
Imagine Seth throws Roman out the Royal Rumble. That'd be crazy. You
know what I think would be a good match?
What?
And you said this yourself, and this is just for WrestleMania, so we're getting a little bit ahead here. Mm-hmm. But just speaking of like a triple threat match, is John Cena against Cody and Randy.
Triple threat.
Yeah. How good would that be, my dudes, for the title?
Yeah,
at WrestleMania. It'd be so good
mm-hmm.
because in my mind, I actually personally think that it's either going to be Randy or John Cena that win at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That's who I think is going to win.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
I think it's really hard. I think it's really, really hard this year. There's so many good people.
Well, there's going to be so many good people in it. Like, it's going to probably be one of the best Royal Rumbles for the men in a long time.
Yeah.
Which means it's going to be a really good WrestleMania in that regard. If Triple H plays his cards right here. This is a problem. You fuck up Royal Rumble, you potentially fuck WrestleMania.
I think maybe John Cena or CM Punk to win.
Yeah, I think CM Punk for me.
He's never won one.
Yeah, and it is an now or never.
And he's never
it is a now or never for him.
Main event at WrestleMania either.
I do know that. So it is kind of a now or never for him. So like I understand that, and I feel like
But.
Like we could see it.
It's just really hard because in saying that too, if John Cena wins, like you said, he ties.
What about a fatal 4-way then?
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Well, if he's never had a debut, and this could potentially be.
CM Punk needs to have a one-on-one match to have his moment at WrestleMania. He can't be in a fatal 4-way. He's got to have one-on-one.
Is he the only one out of these dudes that's never?
Main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah, the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I guess there's a bit here, but also he did walk away from wrestling for like a long time, like a decade? He walked away because he had problems with Vince, right? He come out, he was talking shit about Vince, which we did explore on one of our very, very earlier podcasts that we did last year.
Yeah.
Now, was it last year or the year before we did that?
I can't remember.
I think it might have been before my dad died.
Yeah.
Anyway, CM Punk has had some bad blood in WWE.
Absolutely.
And he did have that for a time against Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Now, Vince is no longer anything to do with wrestling. And if you watch the Vince McMahon documentary, you may know a little bit. But if you've been sort of reading up and doing a bit of your own research, you would know that Vince McMahon is involved in a bit of a scandal.
Yeah.
And that's the reason he no longer is a part of wrestling, is because he's been accused of sexual misconduct with female employees.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is interesting because this is sort of when Vince had gone, then CM Punk comes back.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? The reason CM Punk, I think, missed these opportunities is because he walked away.
Yeah.
He walked away from wrestling because he couldn't stand his boss.
Yeah.
He couldn't hack that. A lot of people, I'm sure, didn't like Vince and had to work under him.
No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, CM Punk did make that choice. He made that choice, my dudes. This could be the last time Randy gets a shot at it. Do you know what I'm saying? It could be the last time John Cena gets a shot at it.
2025 is his last
And
year.
they're wrestlers that have not left.
No.
They have been there longer. They had to work under the same Vince McMahon. They had to deal with some of the very similar shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just wanted to mention that because if CM Punk's going to get it because, well, he never got one before. He had the opportunity to. He left.
I think...
Oh, look, sorry, not that he had the opportunity to, but he would have had the chance to.
Yeah.
Hadn't he not left wrestling. And he left under really bad terms.
Yeah.
Because he come out and he was talking shit on the mic and they had to like cut the mic because of what he was saying. And it was a bit of bad blood there. So, I mean, let's be fair here. Like, if we're going to talk about who deserves it, who deserves it more? Because it may be CM Punk's last chance, but does he deserve it as much as John Cena or Randy Orton?
I think Triple H will just, you know, it's hard because they're all old. Like
They
all
are.
older
They are.
than, you know, who's sort of like Roman and that, like they're, you know.
They are older, you're right, absolutely.
So I think it's hard, but I think Triple H maybe might just look at the bigger picture. And I think he might give it to John Cena.
Well, yeah, that's interesting because it is John Cena. What now? He's staying on for 2025.
Yes.
This has been confirmed.
Yes.
But this is meant to be his last year.
Yes.
Randy Orton wants to wrestle until he's at least 50.
Yeah.
Randy Orton's like what, 45, 46?
44, 45.
Oh, okay. So like he's going to be around for a little bit. So it's not necessarily his last go.
Mm-mm.
Now CM Punk, how long is CM Punk staying around?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'd say maybe looking at him in the ring, maybe like 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a lot left because that go to sleep is fucking bad. He does not. Because did you see how he did it when he wrestled Seth Rollins recently? That go to sleep was shocking. What, he hit him like in the chest? Isn't it supposed to hit you in the face?
Mm-hmm.
And he does not have it anymore. He does not. He either needs to really work on that upper body strength. And I get it. He's older. I understand. But like either work on that so you can really pull off go to sleep like you used to, CM Punk. Or we need to find something else because go to sleep is botched. It is not happening anymore. And just touching on that, you know, looking at him, watching him wrestle, he really doesn't have that much longer left, I don't think, because go to sleep is bad. It is bad.
That's what I mean. He could say, you know, like he could say to CM Punk, we'll let you win next year because we want John to win this year. It's his last year. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know,
but CM Punk might not be around for that long.
I think he'll be around.
You think?
I think maybe end of 2026 he might be done. I think a couple of years.
For me, CM Punk, that big match he had with Drew McIntyre.
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
That really fucked him.
Yeah.
That really fucked him. Like, he did not cope well with that.
No.
And he came out after that and even said that he's not sure how long he will be in wrestling for. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think CM Punk's a bit iffy. I think he's a little bit iffy. Because I think as much as he's great on the mic, as a performer, as a wrestler, can he hack it? And again, all these dudes are getting older, but I think Randy Orton still got it.
Yeah,
I think Randy Orton still got it.
He's definitely still
Whereas
got
John
it.
Cena,
Even in that match with Austin Theory that we seen like a couple of years ago, I think it was at WrestleMania.
And Austin Theory's way younger.
Yeah, that was a terrible match on both parts. You know what I mean? Like, it was just not a good match. And I think, you know, it's sad because they get to that point, like we've said, where
you see your favourite wrestlers done.
They lose it a little bit, and it's like they can't hit their moves like they used to.
Yeah.
And it is shit when that happens. And luckily, Randy's still got it. Like he hasn't hit that point yet.
RKO still looks good.
That's what I mean. Everything that he does still looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, it's important because it needs to look Mickey Mouse.
That's right. It's
it
hard.
really does.
It's hard too. Like, do you put John Cena in that position when he's, you know, when he wrestled the way he did his last match? Like, do you put him in that position?
No, well, that's exactly right.
And even in his match against Solo. Remember he had another one? Like, he had that match against Solo and Solo.
He did bad, but again, I just think John Cena's losing it.
Yeah.
I really do. And this is where I make the point of, for WrestleMania, we want to see an unreal match.
That's right.
We don't want to see a match where the main eventer, like the cards for this, one of them can't keep up.
No.
And this is the worry with both John Cena and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Can either of them pull off the type of match we're looking for? Whereas I believe Randy can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe Randy versus Cody, beautiful.
Yeah.
That could be a fucking beautiful match,
like
my
we said
dudes.
too, Randy, Cody and John. Triple threat takes a bit of the pressure off
It does.
John.
It takes a bit off John. It does work. Because then he doesn't have to go as hard. He can take those bit of breathers when he needs them.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that could really be a beautiful way to go about it.
Absolutely.
And showcase John in the right way.
I feel like it just makes it so much more unpredictable. Like,
Oh,
I feel like John
yeah.
Cena and Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes, because John's sticking around for the year, is a little bit unpredictable to begin with.
Well, they reckon
I don't really know,
Cody,
you know what I mean?
Cody's title reign is done.
That's what I mean.
It's going to be done.
Wouldn't surprise me, you know. I really think they're probably going to this year at some stage give John Cena a world title because
Yeah, it's his last hurrah.
everyone, you know, everyone thinks he's the GOAT. Everyone says he's the GOAT. Michael Cole calls him the GOAT every time he comes out. Like, he's the only person that's had 16 world titles like Ric Flair, and Ric Flair's held that record for so long. Like, ever since I've even watched wrestling.
But just the point you made, how can he be the GOAT if he hasn't held every title?
I know.
He didn't hold an Intercontinental title. And
but I personally don't think John Cena's the GOAT.
Oh, me either. He's not the GOAT to me.
I think Randy Orton's a GOAT.
I know you do. And I think Shawn Michaels is the GOAT.
Yeah, and
I love Shawn Michaels
I love
so
Shawn Michaels
much.
too. He's unbelievable.
But I also think I really love Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And he is so up there for me with one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. I just love everything about him. And he saved wrestling.
He did.
He made the Attitude Era and really picked up the ratings for wrestling. That was all thanks to him. Absolutely. And when he came out and did that Austin 316.
That's right.
If you're an old school fan of wrestling, you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's right.
So for me, you can't bypass a man who does something like that for wrestling. That's a big fucking deal.
That's right.
And what about, like, I do love The Undertaker. Not in my opinion, he's not the GOAT, but to some people he might be as well. This man's been around for a very long time.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So I think it's very debatable
who
the GOAT is. And it's always personal preference, my dudes. Like, you're going to go off who you like the best and why you like him the best and all these kinds of reasons. How good they are on the mic, these type of things. I think if The Rock never left for Hollywood, he could very well be the GOAT. There's so many discussions here. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, the only reason Steve Austin is not the GOAT is because Stone Cold did leave.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, he left at that, like, 2002 mark, and he hasn't often come back type thing. Whereas Shawn Michaels, I think, for a long time, he was such a great wrestler. He was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And he has held those title reigns. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was tag team champion. He has been the Intercontinental. He has been the World Heavyweight. Like, and do you know what I mean? Sweet Chin Music, are you kidding me? That's looked Mickey Mouse for so long. Like, he always pulled that off. Even as he got older, he pulled that off.
Absolutely.
And he's been a part of, like, factions like DX. And I love Shawn Michaels. And if I look at the history of him in wrestling, in my opinion, he's the GOAT. Just, you know, just like obviously you with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
We all have our reasons why we think these things, my dudes.
Right.
And how we feel about when we watch these wrestlers in the ring. And also, how can he not be the GOAT when he's got the best ever entrance song I've ever heard in my fucking life? So, it's so good. Like, even my kids love it, man. Everybody loves it. It is. I love it. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it, but I'm sure you've heard it. So, yeah, enough about who the GOAT is, because obviously we have different opinions, but a lot of people do think it is John Cena, which means he is probably going to get another title shot. Yeah. And he may reign as champion again. Now, so Royal Rumble for obviously the men is looking like the main people we're seeing here that people are talking about is John Cena, Sam Punk, Randy Orton. Anyone else?
I'll probably throw like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in there too.
Roman Reigns I don't think is going to win.
But I don't think Roman Reigns will win the Royal Rumble.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think Seth Rollins will win the Royal Rumble either. I think they'll be there. I think they'll be close, but I don't think they will.
I think that, look, when it comes down to it, I think it could be those four, like Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, John Cena, and Sam Punk. But it also could be Roman in there as well. Because let's face it, Roman does hang in there, and like he's a pretty good wrestler. Do you know what I mean? He's pretty good.
Like I said the other day, it's going to be really interesting to see in the Royal Rumble, like who is going to help Roman.
I don't think Jay's going to.
Like, is Sami Zayn going to help the Bloodline in the Royal Rumble?
Look, this is interesting, but I really don't think Jay is, because Jay's all about standing as like a single man. Like, he's not about, even if he does help his brother Jimmy a little bit, he's still not about kissing Roman's ass again.
No.
So I don't think Jay's going to. Jimmy may. he may help Roman. Look, I think if it's a matter of, because you've got to think Solo and his men are going to be in it too. Like Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tamatanga, like they're going to be in it, those dudes. So they're going to help Solo, I believe. But you know what would be really sick to see? Is if Jacob Fatu, yes!
Throws out Solo.
Oh my god, turns on Solo like the juice, awesome. Man. And also we have Jacob Fatu's cousin. Now he's someone who's meant to be coming into wrestling.
Soon,
yeah. Yeah, he could debut in Royal Rumble. He could. Because they do that sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, the men's one's going to be juice, my dudes. I actually cannot fucking wait. It's going to be so good.
I know, only a couple of weeks.
I cannot wait. Now, the women's. The women's one is, I feel like, a bit more touchy on what's going to happen. Because, basically, the women's who are holding the titles right now, we have Tiff and Rhea.
Yeah.
And we're hearing talks that Charlotte Flair will face Tiff and Becky Lynch will face Rhea. Now, that means that Royal Rumble winner is either going to be Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch, if that's how they want to play it, right?
Asuka could come back too.
I love Asuka. I fucking love Asuka. She's been gone for a while. She's been gone for a while.
She's meant to be coming back soon.
I really like her. I'm a huge fan of Asuka. I do love Io Sky, but Io Sky's had her title shots. I don't think she's going to get another one. Now, I love Bianca Belair. I think she's an unreal wrestler. Right now, she's holding that title, tag team champions with Naomi, which is interesting because it was Jade Cargill, who is set to come back. Mm-hmm. Now, they reckon the reason that they did this was so that they could really do big things with Bianca and Jade as non-tag team champions. Now, I actually think... Personally, I think Bianca Belair is an unreal wrestler. Yep. I would love to see her get another title shot. While she's tag team champion, I don't know but they have done that before. Like, they have allowed a tag team champion, to have a go at getting a title shot.
Absolutely.
They have had that happen.
Sure.
Now, are they going to give it to Bianca Belair? I unfortunately don't think so. What do you think?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I love her. I think she's one of the best wrestlers we have today.
Yeah.
If I can be completely honest. Fuck, she is good.
I think
she's so strong. Did you see what she did to Nia Jax? That's how Tiffy won, man. Like,
crazy.
Are you kidding me? Bianca Belair is a beast of a woman. This woman is incredible. And she needs to be recognised. She really does. She is so fucking good.
Yeah.
But I just think at the moment, she's kind of staying at that tag team.
Yeah.
Maybe she's helping Naomi come back up. I'm not really sure what the goal is there. But interesting. Now, just before we sort of continue on there, I don't think we're going to see Nia Jax coming back for the title anytime soon.
I don't think so. She's probably going to be in the Royal Rumble though. So
I do think she's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Of course she is. I think she's going to dominate for a little bit.
Yeah, she probably will
dominate
for a little bit.
But I don't think she's going to win.
No, I don't think she'll win either.
I do not. And I think if the people who are going to throw her out of the ring, it's going to be either someone like Bianca Belair or Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Or it could be Jade Cargill as well.
I think she might have last year.
Did she?
I think she might have picked her up and thrown her
Yeah, see, but these women are all very strong.
Yeah.
And they're all very impressive to watch in the ring.
No, that's right.
Okay, so we've talked about who we think the last few are going to be in the men's. Who do we think the last few are going to be in the women's?
I think Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
Becky Lynch.
Yep. Bailey.
Probably Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I think Bianca Belair goes hard.
Not Bailey.
No, why not? She's pretty good.
No, she is, but she won Royal Rumble last year.
Doesn't mean she can't be the last few standing in the ring.
She could be, but I don't know. They reckon Alexa Bliss might come back. But she's not very
good. Yeah, she's not very good.
Liv Morgan could be in the last four.
And she was last two, a couple years ago.
2 years back.
Yeah, and she actually was really surprisingly impressive to watch.
Be the last one, Sky could be it's hard.
It's tricky because there's some good ones.
I definitely think Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch will be in the 2 out of the last 4. I'll just say that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I personally think it could be them 2 the last 2 one-on-one.
Wow, yeah.
That's juicy.
I know how
and they used to be
best friends. And they did.
You know
they were best friends and both come back because
that's what I mean.
Because Becky Lynch used to be under Charlotte Flair. Do you remember? Do you remember when Becky Lynch was trying to come up and Ric Flair kept getting involved because Becky Lynch was having matches against Charlotte when she was reigning champ at the time, I think.
Yes.
And Becky Lynch was like wanting to sort of step out on her own and no longer be like a little sidekick of Charlotte's.
Yeah.
And Charlotte and her father were trying to keep Becky Lynch down.
Yeah.
And every match that Becky would have against Charlotte, Ric Flair would get involved.
That's right.
So there is a big history of Charlotte and Becky Lynch.
That's right.
And they are two women that have been around for a long time now. They've both done a lot. They're both two women that have a big following behind them.
That's right. I think
it would be good to see.
I think you've really got to nail that Royal Rumble winner, like you said earlier. Like you've really got to nail 100%. It. And I think Triple H. I think since Triple H took over, I think some years you can see like he sort of uses that play safe option. Like last year we had Cody and CM Punk the last two. Like no one's going to be disappointed, really.
Yeah.
Like some people, the diehard fans of that person.
But absolutely.
They're both crowd favourites.
They've got the following.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like Triple H is very much that type of dude, whereas Vince messed that up a lot. He could never nail it. Like, sometimes, it was great. Like probably earlier on than later on. As it probably Royal Rumble got later, I think he sort of ran out of things, and I think it was like people become very predictable.
Yeah.
Whereas
true.
I feel like Triple H, he's good in that fact of he
wants to throw you a little bit.
Yeah, but he always sort of has two people that everyone's going to be
of course, where you're torn. You're torn,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's good at that, and I think Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch is that perfect situation this year.
Whereas I think Vince did that sometimes.
No, he did.
He did sometimes.
But I just don't think he nailed it all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you know what I mean?
But I think Vince had a certain vision of what the champs should look like.
Absolutely.
And in Vince's mind, the champs were always huge, bulk, muscly dudes.
No, that's right.
That was always his vision.
That's right.
Which is why I was really surprised because it was under Vince's reign, Daniel Bryan became champion. Daniel Bryan champion was fucking mind blowing. Yeah, just because he was not that dude for me.
No,
didn't even look like that dude. Like looks like Jesus.
That's right.
He just didn't work for me. But here's something interesting, and you brought this up to me today in our personal discussions. And this was someone had actually asked us, what we think about Jeff Hardy returning to WWE. Now, they think Jeff Hardy come out and said that he wouldn't mind coming back as a heel to face CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And imagine Jeff Hardy coming back as a heel.
It'd be a different one.
What the hell?
Pretty cool.
And so this is what I mean. If this is in the talks, I know Jeff Hardy said this. This could be something that Triple H actually sees something going somewhere, which means maybe CM Punk will be a champ for a little bit.
Maybe. I honestly think Triple H can, like I said before, he can win the whole crowd over at Royal Rumble night.
Yeah.
By doing probably like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch last two in the women.
And men.
Which no one's really going to be disappointed. And honestly, for the men, as much as I want to see Randy Orton win, and I know you do too.
So bad.
If he's not, if he's
John Cena and CM Punk.
Yeah, I think no one could be disappointed in that situation.
I feel like CM Punk's kind of hinted at that a little bit because he come out and was kind of giving some shit to CM Punk was to John Cena. He was on Raw. He's like, oh, you've won before. We've seen you do this before. Like getting all CM Punk-ish. You know how he does.
He said you can't see me, and then he said we can all he said I've always seen you, my friend.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
I think they'll definitely face off in the Royal Rumble, but I think that'd be probably a good way to end it too. Them two facing off because I think the crowd's going to be happy either way. But even though I'd love to see Randy throw them both over the top. Really.
But I guess we haven't really discussed, I suppose, who could face Gunther if he's still holding the title.
Yeah, at
WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Because this is the thing. I feel like, let's say if it's either CM Punk or John Cena, I feel like they're going to pick Cody Rhodes. Both of them are going to pick Cody Rhodes if they win.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
No.
No, you don't think so?
I think CM Punk would pick Gunther.
Really?
Yeah.
Gunther and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
John Cena, no.
No, I think John Cena will go. For me, because it could be one of his last big matches, I personally think that John Cena versus Cody Rhodes makes more sense than Gunther versus John Cena.
It's a hard one. It's a really hard one. I just think Gunther sometimes is just so boring in the ring. I think they take the risk of it being not a great match.
Well, the reason I sort of said this anyway, just touching base, just to go back to it, is because it leaves open Randy Orton to face Gunther for the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to get at, my dudes.
Yeah.
If it's not Randy versus Cody, the winner, I feel like, is going to pick Cody.
Yeah.
Because then Randy's open to face Gunther.
Or they will give it to John Cena and they'll make it look like he's going to pick Cody. And they'll throw us a curveball, he'll pick Gunther, and maybe it'll end up being Randy versus Cody at WrestleMania.
Oh, true, because people do want to see that.
You know, you just
Yeah,
never know.
true.
It's a hard
one
you know
to say what they're going to do.
one. Like,
But there's options to make it juice,
I was
man.
reading the other day, they were saying like Seth Rollins versus Gunther they think would be really good and they like that idea. Like WWE's saying like they like the idea of making that a match at WrestleMania. And personally, I think Seth Rollins and Gunther is probably not a bad match, but I think giving Seth Rollins a win would probably be the smart idea.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably not a bad match. But now they're saying Logan Paul and Gunther. You know what I mean?
No. See, okay, Logan Paul versus Gunther. For one, I do not think Logan would win if that happened.
No.
Why is Logan Paul getting this?
I have no idea.
I'm so sorry, but okay, yes, Logan Paul has done some impressive things in the ring and has been impressive to watch. Where has he been? I know he just had a baby.
Yeah.
I understand that. I just had a baby myself too. So, but where has he been? And he can't just come in and get all these title matches. And why? Because he's a millionaire. Like, this is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I don't think he deserves that. I'm sorry, but what the fuck, no. Like,
win the Royal Rumble.
Oh my God. If Logan won the Royal Rumble, what a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. I don't think the crowd would be happy with that at all.
No.
I think Triple H is making a big mistake if that
Absolutely.
happens.
Absolutely.
I don't think any real diehard wrestling fan wants to see Logan Paul get that kind of win.
No diehard wrestling fan wants to see Logan Paul in a main event at WrestleMania.
I agree. No, yeah, I'm so for that.
Person
no.
wants to see that as a diehard YouTuber.
Who only watches wrestling because of Logan Paul.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. Like, yes, Logan Paul has brought in Prime as sponsors for wrestling, and this is kind of the problem. I feel like Logan Paul really buys his way to where he wants to be.
Absolutely.
And this is where maybe Triple H is a bit torn. If he doesn't give Logan Paul certainly what he wants, does he lose the sponsorships?
Maybe.
Can there be some problems here?
Maybe.
I think this is the problem with money talking sometimes. It's not necessarily about how hard you work, it's money talks.
That's right.
If you're rich enough, you can get whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's real shit. That's a real shit thing. Logan Paul wasn't even someone in my mind as a main eventer. He wasn't even in my mind to win Royal Rumble, to be in a main event in WrestleMania. Not in my mind. Possibly do something with him at Elimination Chamber.
I think he'll be in the Royal Rumble, but I honestly hope he gets thrown straight.
I think it's bullshit. If Logan Paul gets a shot, I think it's bullshit.
That's like the whole John Cena and Cody Rhodes thing. Like, they said that they really like that idea at the moment, but they said it all sort of depends on The Rock because he can do whatever he wants.
I love The Rock, I do, but The Rock should not be able to just come in and do whatever he wants. And didn't he say last time that he really didn't handle that match very well? Again, he's getting older, and The Rock does not stick to wrestling. He's Hollywood. And because of this, he can't maintain wrestling as well as some of the other older wrestlers who continuously wrestle, like Randy Orton, for example.
Absolutely. And
this is what I'm saying. But they reckon one day Cody will face The Rock. They do think this is going to be a match.
Yep.
Now, apparently, but The Rock wants to come in and do like a People's Champ versus the champ. What's on the line then? Each other's title?
I think both, maybe, I don't know.
Or is this just to decide who's the People's Champ? Like, this
idea.
is an odd thing for me.
No idea.
I don't really, I just feel like bringing The Rock's title back into it just feels unnecessary. And I love The Rock, old school Rock, especially, like, Attitude Era Rock, so much. So much. But I really don't like the idea of The Rock just coming in and doing whatever he wants. I just don't think that's cool, man.
I think The Rock and Roman's the only real reason you'd bring him back.
I think The Rock and Roman would be a good match to see.
You know what I mean?
I think that'd be a good match.
I think it'd be a good match, but I think for me that's the only reason I'd bring The Rock.
Well, couldn't you bring The Rock in and make him verse Roman for who is,
The true tribal chief.
Yeah, exactly. That makes more sense to me.
It does.
Because it's a family thing.
Exactly.
Rather than The Rock facing anyone else for any reason.
Make it a lumberjack match and put it all
all of the fucking bloodline family.
Yeah, every one of them.
That'd be sick. That'd be cool, man.
There we go.
A lumberjack match. Oh my god.
I haven't had one of them in ages.
Oh, I know. I was about to say I haven't seen one of them in forever. That'd be so good. That'd be good. But I feel like WrestleMania's got it. The right calls have got to be made for this to be epic, which means the right calls need to be made, at Royal Rumble. Let us know what you think, my dudes. And just before we go, I guess let's touch base on what we think may happen at Elimination Chamber, because do we think that the same people are going to hold these titles, or do you think something could happen in between at Elimination Chamber?
I think it's really hard to say before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah? Yeah, so no predictions as of yet?
For me, no, not yet.
No?
Not yet, no.
I personally think, that Rhea's definitely going to hold that title still for WrestleMania. I think Cody's still going to hold that title for WrestleMania. I think Gunther, very well, could still be the champ at WrestleMania. And I think Tiffy Time, it's definitely Tiffy's time right now, legit. Remember Bailey, my daughter Bailey, she's like, so does that mean it's now actually Tiffy Time? It's like, it's officially Tiffy Time. And because it's officially Tiffy's time, I actually think she's going to hold that belt into WrestleMania as well.
Yeah, okay. I think it's hard to say.
Let's wait and see what happens at Royal Rumble, my dudes, which is coming up. And of course, we've got SmackDown on the weekend.
Absolutely.
And Raw coming up.
And Saturday night's main event.
Oh, and Saturday night's main event. Yes, of course. Now this, actually, just real quick, they're only doing this once.
I'm not sure, because the other day when I read about it, they said they were doing this one, like, that's obviously coming up now with Gunther and Jay.
Yep.
And then they said they'd announced dates for, like, July or some shit.
Oh.
So,
okay.
I'm not really, it's a bit vague at the moment, so I'm not really sure the
frequency of this.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So we'll get back to more on that.
We'll more on that, on the frequency of that.
So
at this stage, there's only been 2 of this will be the second one.
Yes.
Correct? And when did they debut it again? A month ago, roughly? No?
Was it mid-December?
That's what I mean, like a month ago?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe they might do it monthly, maybe.
Yeah.
But let's see, obviously, what they do with that. But so we've got Saturday night main event coming up. We have SmackDown and Raw. And my dudes, you will see us again, probably after the next episode of Raw.
Yep.
Yeah. We will talk with you again, my dudes. So please take care. Have a great weekend, my dudes, and much love to you all. Bye-bye.